Okay, this is our first look at the XYL Unicorn. It is really nice. I can tell it's pretty good construction already. We were contacted by this company about selling the Unicorn almost back in the beginning of February. But we finally now just got our hands on this sample. Finally, but I'm told that this is going to be a good competitive level blaster. It looks like a injection molded version of a Talon Claw. We have the Harrier, which is the worker kind of injection molded version of the Caliburn, but the Harrier is kind of a 3/4 length blaster. This is definitely more a Talon Claw or a half length blaster. So we're going to take a look. Receiver. Here's a plunger tube there, kind of like a SBL, not an SBL, dang it, there's no O-rings on it currently. Really small air volume, a little smaller than Talon Claw, so I have to see what we can get. Here's their version of the Talon magazine, which has a button that you can push and then slide. So there's actually a follower and a base plate, more parts, interesting. But yeah, more sturdy. Your cap's not gonna come off. I'm told that this would be 140 out of the box spring, pretty light spring. Your adjustable stock, your swappable top rail, and the lower receiver with a lot of metal parts. That's what we like to see. Reminds me a lot about the M79, how much metal is in it, and a solid receiver. We've got a button release, mag release, and a slam fire catch, all that down pins. These are really nice pins, have a built-in kind of a sling point, but they don't have a spot for a cotter pin on the end, just a ball, so you can't really use these as a sling attachment point. So the ring, in my opinion, is kind of pointless, so I'll probably swap that out for a different pin or find a way to take that out to use like just take that pin off. Doesn't look like there's an easy way to take that out, but there is a little set screw kind of thing on the top. Not a screw, but just a locking pin. So I believe you put the spring on here, or you could probably do it the other way, but that's a nice tight fit, which means you're gonna have a hard time using a different size spring without taking the back plate off, but that's just a 3D print waiting to happen. Yeah, that feels very nice. That's a solid platform, and it is small. I'm talking about like SPAMF size here. Now that spring's actually pretty beefy. So I bet with a proper plunger tube that doesn't have the slot cut in it for the lower powered version, that button is for the stock, I bet we can get pretty good performance if we just swap out that plunger tube. And here we have a machine shop, so we can make our own plunger tubes, our own types of barrels and everything to do all the performance we want. But otherwise you would have to buy the upgraded plunger tube without the slot to get the higher performance. I've heard rumors of around 200 out of the box. This should be about 140, 150 with that slot in the plunger tube. So we'll just pop that out like that. Boom, there you go. So you see that slot in the plunger tube built in to reduce the performance down to Chinese legal requirements, I suppose. But we should be able to make our own plunger tube there, anodize it, and see what we get. And looks like it'll take most springs, most narrow springs. You'll have to do a different plunger for like a wider long shot or turf spring. But standard Talon Claw right there. Yeah, that is a really, really nice shell. I hate these pins though. I mean, they might be tight enough to be a sling point, but I definitely wouldn't trust that, which is the ball detent on those pins. See the iron sight, see what that looks like. That's pretty nice. See, we've got a couple of slide pieces. Looks like that just goes in the top to cover up that rail, so you can then install your solid piece rail. Or if you want a top prime, you can put that in there, and then you can have the option to top prime that. Looks like this one came with 2 plates for some reason. Maybe for the bottom as well. That would be nice, because if you're using a top prime, you don't have to worry about the bottom Picatinny sliding on you. And give it a couple of test fires. 5 worker bamboos of varying quality, and we'll see what performance we get. All right, default out of the box, no air seal. 143. Right where they said 151, 132, 135, and that was a bad dart. So yeah, you're hitting that right at that 140 mark. See how it fits with an orange Talon. Yeah, it's like exactly the same fit. Actually, it's a little tighter. Uh-oh. Yeah, it's a little tighter with the Talon, but it depends on which mold batch you got. But overall, no, that's for less than $100, already hitting 140, and that's with absolutely no air seal at all. Yeah, that's a good one.